Now, we've done plenty of work here at the makeover house. It's looking beautiful inside and the garden's really taking shape. But one of the things that I think is letting it down now is this bird feeder. I take my hat off to them for feeding the local birds, and they're attracting plenty because I'm really enjoying seeing them when we're working here. So I was trying to think what I could do, and I've gone to the top of the pops. I've gone to the numero uno, in my opinion, the smartest man I've ever met, Dr. Harry Cooper.
You're taking my name in vain again, aren't you?
No, well, you've been on the earth so much longer than me that you should just naturally know more.
No, I've just forgotten a lot more.
Mate, this is practical, but
Yeah.
it ain't pretty.
My problem, mate, with this is that it got rained last night, so I got wet. But the ideal situation in here is that you can take that out and you can sort of throw it away, wash it, dry it, refill it, and put it back in here again. It's important to keep the feeding area clean.
I think I'm going to go with a natural-looking bird feeder. We're
Yeah.
going to use sticks and branches
Yeah.
that I've accumulated.
Yeah.
Mate, what about the height? Is this the right height?
Yeah, that's about the right height. If you've got it too low, it's easy for a cat or a dog to sort of pounce up, and they will hide in the shrubbery around the area anyhow. So it doesn't want to be too close to shrubs. It wants to be out a little bit from them.
So is this a good spot for it?
No, mate, I think this is a much better spot. I'll tell you why. This big conifer here, right, blocks the view of everyone in that room.
Yep.
They can't see. And why, I mean, why have a bird feeder if you can't see the birds feeding? I mean,
point.
it's good for your soul. And that's where my soul is, right behind my pacemaker. So stepping out a little bit from that little circular bit, great, you've got native shrubs all around, fantastic. Put a bit more screen in behind, lovely,
Excellent.
lovely.
Down there it is. All right, so Harry picked the spot, and I'm going to work my magic. Now, straight away, rather than just using pieces of pine, I've got myself 2 trunks that I sourced responsibly. Now, you might find them on the side of the road. You saw a tree lopper doing some work and you picked them up off him. Now, I'm not going to put these guys into the ground because if the birds do take a liking to them and rip them apart, I'll be able to replace them because I'm going to anchor them with star pickets and just screw from behind. I'm going to set my first post before I muck around with the second one, just so I get it to look good. Now, putting that in there, and this is kind of the height where we want to be feeding the birds. I could go through here, take all that off with a chainsaw, but I'd also lose all this beautiful, gnarly angle. So I'm actually going to come down here and take about 40 centimetres off the base. Even though we're doing a bit of bush carpentry, which means you can be as rough as you like, it's still nice to pre-drill. Just means you can put it in easier, your drill's not working overtime, and you're not going to crack the timber. Best thing about this, no level, no tape measure, no string line. If it looks right, she's apples. So I've whittled down the end of the branch because I wanted to actually go into here. I've got a spade bit. It's slightly bigger than what I've whittled, but that's fine because it splays out and I'll get a nice tight fit.
No way to refuse. If you do, you know you'll miss the best part. Yeah, yeah. Round and round and no way to stop it once your heart's got its mind made up. Round and you know you're caught after the first night. Now you just can't get enough. One thing to another. Some things never end.
And that's the bones. Now I'm just going to create a little landing here. So I've whittled this down. I'm going to drill into there and it will sit on top like that. Then it's got these branches here, which make it look sort of a little bit more natural, but also give the birds a bit of protection. They can get in here and feel comfortable because they've got something around them. So you've got your permanent tray and a matching tray that sits inside it. Now, Dr. Harry said they need protection from above. So if I go through there and take some noggins out, this can slide in. Well, that's done. We've just got to fill it with seed and water and they will come. But remember Harry was saying about birds that like to go for the pollen and the nectar in the flowers? Well, I'm going to plant this area out with some natives, so I'm looking after those little birds as well. And it's not that hard because lots of our labels now have on them bird attracting. And pretty much if it's an Aussie native and it's got a flower on it, there will be a bird to match the plant. Water this garden well for the next month to 6 weeks. Then you can start to back off on the water. Just think about those roots that have been tightly held in the pot need to sort of double in size before the plant can stand on its own 2 feet, or its root system for that matter. So they're all native. There's a lily-pilly there to get up and hide the fence, just like the other lily-pillies. Some leptospermums, which will get to about 2 metres. That's all your height. And then on the ground, we've got kangaroo paw and lamandra and a couple of little bottle brushes. All bird attracting and all native. And last but not least, the birdseed. I can't wait to be back here working and looking up and seeing some very happy little native birds. If we all did something like this, we'd have more in our metropolitan areas, and that'd put a smile on anyone's face.